All right, good morning. I am Russell Armstead, Executive Director for Lexington VA Healthcare System. Today is the 81st anniversary of the D-Day landings in Normandy, and it reminds us of the courage and sacrifice of veterans. I want to start out by thanking everyone for attending our opening of our Close to Me Chemo Infusion Clinic at the Somerset VA Community Clinic. As you came in, you were offered to take ribbons off of the table. Each color represents a different type of cancer. The ribbon you chose represents how cancer has impacted your life, whether it's you, a friend, a co-worker, or even a family member. Looking around at all who are gathered, we can see how cancer has touched everyone present. This is why the Close to Me Clinic is so important, because cancer affects everyone in all communities. This clinic brings treatment closer to veterans' homes, reducing travel demands to major and often urban medical centers. Veterans and their caregivers are afforded more time to go about their daily lives and focus on healing. With the Close to Me Clinic ensuring that veterans have the option to choose VA for their cancer care journey, we are able to fulfill the Lexington VA's mission. And our mission statement is, we improve the lives of veterans, and this clinic helps us do just that. I'll turn it over to Sam, and he's going to have some remarks as well.
Hey, good morning. I'm Sam Shepard. I'm the Cancer Program Administrator at the Lexington VA. First off, thank you all for being here. The reason you all are here today is because you have somehow impacted this project in a positive way, and we couldn't have done it without you. So thank you. I struggled with what to say today, but based on the conversation I had with the director actually last Friday about this time, it kind of hit me on what I needed to talk about, and that was what this program brings back to the Lexington VA. You know, when you first do a business case, you do your return on investment data numbers, what it means to bring somebody back. And it didn't hit me until about 10 days ago what the answer to that question was, and I was explaining it to him last week. And it was at that time that somebody in the room said, I got, the chills hearing that. And so I said, I need to focus on that because that's what's important. And to understand that, you have to understand why we're here. So 2.5 years ago, I was on a cruise with my family over Thanksgiving. I returned and I had this email. And it was a congratulations email from our interim director. And it was like, congratulations, you've been selected to be on this new strategic team and co-lead it. And I'm like, okay, started asking questions. I had nothing. Nobody would tell me anything other than a date and time to show up. And I go to the director's conference room. There's like 30 people in there. And they start going through each strategic team. And they're breaking off with their respected ELT member that's leading it. It ended up being me, Dr. Wells, Dr. Wilson, Veronica was in the room, and the interim director. That was it. And then they left. And it was just me, Dr. Wells, and Dr. Wilson. And I'm sitting there like, can I ask a question? And no. Hey, we have this idea to look at cancer care as a whole, but we really don't know what that means yet. We're going to have a meeting. You got to come back in like 3 weeks. I'm like, okay. And Dr. Wilson, the chief of staff at the time, was like, just think about what you want to do with cancer care at our VA and what we could measure or look at. So perfect. First of the year hits. It was January 4th because I went and looked at the calendar. 3 hours. The three of us sat down and met. And we talked about what we could do for our veterans at our VA. And one of the things that Dr. Wilson always harped on was the North Star. And we've come away with two from that meeting. One was we wanted to focus on high-quality patient care. We can say we do that, but how do we know we're doing that when it comes to cancer? And the other one was access. And not so much like improved wait times, but let's bring access to our veterans that we don't currently offer at our VA. And let's see where we can go with that. So we started down the journey. It was an easier journey with high-quality patient care because we have partners next door at Marquis that we had started to research. I had pulled in my partner, Anna Rose, and we had figured out the McCann Network, or Marquis Cancer Center Affiliation Network. They're here with us today. Thank you all. So we started looking at that avenue of, hey, they can provide all of this leadership to us to get Commission on Cancer accredited, the gold standard for a cancer program, which we've been walking down that path now for 2 years. But it's a process of constantly looking at everything you do and breaking it down and making it better. Process improvement of your cancer program. Measuring things, looking at it. That first meeting I had with Dr. Wilson, I asked one question. How many patients do we diagnose with cancer? And I got a laugh. Like there was not an answer. And so, if you know me, I'm going to find the answer. Well, that took a year just to figure out that one question. But over that year, we learned and we researched and we figured out how to measure high quality patient care. And that's what we focused on. We worked with Markey. We worked with different people in the hospital to look at all our processes and improve them. And it's not something that we check the box and can just move on. Once you get accredited, you have to start over because that accreditation comes up in 3 years. So it's just a constant involvement. Access was a little trickier. What do we not offer? Well, the first avenue we went down was research, and we got laughed at a whole lot and told you're not going to get that pulled off. About a year later, we started, actually in March, a research study funded by the DoD here at RVA, where we've already enrolled over 300 veterans in the study in the first 3 months. So new access, radiation oncology. There's no facility in the state of Kentucky on a VA property that you can get radiation oncology. Awesome. Second point of access. Then we heard about this program, close to me. So what was that? It was bringing Infusion to a satellite clinic, RC box. And so we pitched the idea to our ELT. And then the VISN heard about it. And so collectively as a VISN, we were so impressed with this model that we applied for funding, or an RFA, through our VISN. And we got lucky. We were one of 3 sites that got selected for some funding to stand up a infusion clinic. And so doing that business case and all of that return on investment, to me, it was always a financial figure until 10 days ago. 10 days ago, we infused our first patient sitting right there. And I sat in a chair right there. And we're lucky to have him here today. So that first patient talked to me for about an hour. And all I did was listen and learn. And what I learned is that this gentleman believed so much in his cancer care, he would drive 192 miles round trip to get chemo at our hospital. There's a hospital that is about a half a mile down the road where he easily could have gone, but didn't. He chose us. So when we developed this here, we brought him in, we infused him. I asked him, how far was your drive? 3 miles. 6 miles round trip versus 192. And he told me this is a great thing you're doing for me. And that's the return on investment you capture, is that veteran and what we did for him. You just can't put a financial dollar on changing the trajectory of cancer care for somebody. It's so powerful, and that's what we accomplished. 1,225 veterans have been diagnosed with cancer in RVA the last 2 calendar years. 229 from Pulaski County or one of the 7 surrounding. We have a whole lot of work here to do to change the trajectory of all those people. And that number keeps growing by about 5% a year, sadly. So we have a whole lot of work to do here. And what we've done here is laid the groundwork for years to come. So I want to leave you with one last thing. About 3 weeks ago, Jenna Shields from the national office, who were very gracious this year, invited me and Anna to be on a panel. And we were on this panel discussion for all the new VAs that are trying to implement this program. There was about 80 people on it or so, I guess. They would just ask rapid fire questions, but nothing we couldn't handle, till the last question. And it was asked by the moderator, and it caught me. Because when she asked the question, I was like, I don't know what the answer to this is. So she asked the question, and thank goodness my last name starts with an S, because I was last to answer, so I got to hear the first 4 answers. And the question was, how does close, it was something along the lines of, what does close to me mean to you, or how does it make you feel? And some of the answers were, oh, it brings access, or it's veteran-centric, or it makes me happy. I was proud. I'm proud of this. I'm proud of the team we developed. I'm proud to work at the VA. I'm proud to work at Lexington. And I'm proud of the high-quality cancer care that we've delivered and that we're going to deliver in the future. And that was why I chose that answer. proud. So thank you all very much for coming today. I appreciate it. So, do the honor.
All right. Now we're going to shift to a ribbon cutting, which is symbolic of the grand opening of this unit. So I think I'm going to have a few people join me. And I don't know where I'm supposed to stand. I got the power here.
I guess everyone is.
Oh, we all on this side. Where do I go? I'll get this.
But if we could just, let me take some photos, Anna, can we get in there? Other Anna, please. We'll take some photos and we'll count down, we'll take some photos and then do a countdown, 1, 2, 3, cut.
Okay. That's not like my iPhone.
1, 2, 3.
All right.